That's the line you look for, right?
Right.
To put it on two.
Yeah, let me see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, right where it's, the 2 is, right, yeah, it's where it's supposed to be.
Is it?
Yeah, it's on 2.
Alright, I just wanna make sure that I can't see them things like that.
Okay.
Yeah, and how you adjust that is this, you go run and do that and whatnot, so. It's really, once you got it up and running, it's really, you know.
It's simple, man, you can pop them out. That's the great thing about this thing doing cake donuts, if people want cake donuts.
Yeah.
Okay, and this thing, let me just make sure, it, you just pull it up there, right? It doesn't connect.
No, it does not connect. Now, what we did you leave that hook up?
Yeah, I left the hook on there, but I added.
To keep it from,
Oh, okay.
moving.
Now, what we like, see this right here, this little regular cheap hook from the hardware store? What we did, we hooked this just because it went down, it was so much better. It would come down here, slide down, and you're not having to constantly move them.
Yeah.
So there's a
Yeah,
couple
from
things that we did.
Bellshot designed it to where I was supposed to sit here.
Sit.
And then it would flop down and then, but they'd flop down and then they'd just sit there. So we did it this way, cause then they just
Then
naturally
they
slide.
slide. And also, you'll find whenever well, I did not use this because it's in the way. So this one I wouldn't use. We'd stand here and pick up our donuts, put them on the glazer. You know, we needed it to be out of the way.
Do you let them sit a minute before you glaze them, or you go ahead and
Well,
glaze
you gotta let them cool for a little bit, because
Well-
if they're too hot, the glaze just runs
Melts.
off.
But by the time you sit here, and then you pick them up, and by the time you get 24 on here, you're
It's
good.
ready.
It's ready. Okay, and then you're
Yeah.
just running that, flipping it
There's
back
two
up.
ways to do it. Bellshot will show you as they come off to have, the reason why they don't have it mounted here, they have it sit there is you have several racks here, and as you fill up one rack, then you pick that whole rack up
And
and
sit
move it
right
here.
here.
We found for our operation, it was easier just to move them as,
one at a time.
yeah,
Do this.
What's that?
those are donut sticks.
We just pick up the donuts or we put on gloves and we do it by hand. But you'll find that when they're this hot,
It's better to do that.
it's better to just pick it up with the donut stick and put your 24 there. Now you
If
can
put your
try,
hands in there, put it indent.
yeah, it'll dent the donut,
Yeah.
flatten it, use donut. But you can try it either way. For me, the tray doing the thing, it's too, you know, you got this thing full of hot donuts and you're trying to get it sit on here right. See what I'm saying? And we didn't like it.
Yeah.
We didn't like it, but that's totally.
Now for doing your glaze, this is real simple, and that's the vat down there, okay, and then you just lower this down here to fill it with the glaze, and you just pick this up,
Pull it across.
and then pull it across once, and then you go back.
A lot faster than that, though.
Yeah.
You don't want to drown it.
Yeah, and then you just drop it, and then you let it drip a little
Now,
bit.
where's your vat? Where do you pour your junk?
Well, you just
You pour
want
it
to
in
pour
your
it, you just
Yes.
pour it right in here. Yeah.
And it goes there.
Now,
Now,
the
this has
purpose
to be
of
cleaned
this,
every day.
purpose of this is you can set it over here if you want it to drain, and then when you get ready to do your next one,
Okay.
you know, to eliminate on your drippage and the wasting. Now, I told you that this one, I added the heater to it, because in the winter,
It's too
when it was too cold, it was the glaze would be too thick, because it was cold. So I added a tank heater,
Okay.
and you just plug this in, only until you can feel it's warm, then you can unplug it.
Yeah, you're not trying to cook the glaze.
Yeah.
All right, so your glaze, you make or if you make your own glaze, you do it the consistency of heavy cream, maybe?
Yeah, that'd be about right. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're gonna have to practice with that yourself because you're gonna have to see the speed at which you do this is determined by the thickness of your glaze. And you can put two hands and go this back, but you're not gonna want to go slow. You got a thick glaze, you can't go slow because you got to remember you're not only coming forward, but you got to go back.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to practice.
You'll
If you're gonna
figure it
make
out
your
as
own
you do
glaze,
it,
you're
what
gonna have to
works for
practice
you.
with that to see how much, because you also may need not only heat it, you may need to, and don't heat it long, because again, that's on hot donuts and it's all gonna run off.
Yeah.
you might wanna instead just put a little bit of hot water in there and mix it up really good and then do your glazing.
But we found, the reason why it's on there is because like, you know, when it got real cold in February and January, we had.
Well, my room's all windows, cause it's gonna probably be cold in there unless
Yeah.
the other stuff's running.
Yeah.
This has to be cleaned every day. This is the most time consuming and the hardest thing to clean in the entire system.
Okay.
Is this,
And this is
because
right
it's
there.
sugar.
That's
Because it's sugary glaze. I mean, that's why. And when it gets hard, yes, it's hard
Oh, yeah,
crusted
when-
sugar. So at the end of the day, you know, you get your little plastic scrapers.
Well,
or
actually,
metal.
what we got was this.
Well, we scraped it first.
Yeah, after you scraped all your
majority of the glaze. You
excess,
wanna
but we
save as much glaze as
got
you
this
can.
stainless steel brush,
Mhm.
and for cleaning it, it really made a big difference.
Yeah.
And so you use your glaze the next day too?
Oh, yes.
Mhm. Yeah.
That's why you put it in the
Now, the
bucket.
really hard pieces, no, but see, you're gonna also strain that. We had, I had my cooker, he strained it every day.
Yeah, there's a strain.
Because there's,
It's
bits
a
of
donut.
donuts gonna fall in it, and when you do cake donuts, let me tell you, you're gonna have, blueberry. When you do blueberry donut cakes, you're gonna have little blueberries everywhere. And if you don't clean the glaze, and it comes out on a regular donut, it looks like a bug.
Yeah.
You know, you're not gonna be able to sell no glazed donut with this thing on it. They're, oh, it's a bug. No, it's a piece of blueberry. So your glaze needs to be strained every day. This is the most time consuming, is cleaning this thing. And all this stuff comes apart, you just lift it apart, and it's gotta be cleaned. I mean, now, I know people that don't, but now I don't know how they can use that thing the next day, because buddy, when that sugar gets hard,
Yeah, we tried breaking it
Get it.
down and then just covering it with cellophane, and then trying it the next day,
Didn't work.
and it didn't.
which is what some
Sure.
people suggested, they were doing it, and I'm like, I don't know how they did it, I don't know.
That would make it harder the next day to clean.
Yeah.
Oh
That's
my gosh,
exactly.
oh yeah,
Be like concrete.
oh, it was awful, I mean, it is like concrete.
When you are doing these, how much grease comes out into this thing? A lot.
Very little.
Oh,
Really?
yeah.
No, you know what, I'm gonna tell you what we do, I take a pan liner, this is what I do, I take this thing off, I put a pan liner down here,
By pan liner, you mean one of those rubber
paper,
things?
no,
No,
You
paper
mean
pan
just a
liner.
paper pan liner.
pan liner.
Okay.
Uh-huh. And at the end of every day, I just pull it out, throw it in the trash.
So it doesn't fill
What
it
did
up?
that? No,
That's it?
no,
No, not at all.
no, this is draining right here. Look,
Yeah, I
When this
figured
comes
that.
up,
I figured it's.
these donuts, so you're talking about draining twice here before it ever gets to that. So you're gonna be shocked at the small amount of, cheap grease, you get a lot of grease.
But the palm.
When you get the palm oil, that thin, healthier grease that they use, palm oil, it drains right out. It's not hanging on
Okay.
like other shortening or lard does. But no, it's draining here twice before it ever gets here. So you're gonna be surprised at the little amount of grease.
So the cake flour, the cake donut flour, that's just the mix for whatever, and then you just add whatever you create in with that, or do you buy different ones? Is that just a plain cake donut?
I don't know what's
No,
back there.
that's the old fashioned.
Oh,
That's
that's
the
old
sour
fashioned,
cream,
sour
old
cream?
fashioned. We used to use that as our base and mix
That's
other
what I
things
was, I
with
think
it.
that was what I was
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah, but you gotta be careful. Now adding fruit and stuff to this is because it's gonna fall out in here and you're gonna have a mess to clean up.
Yeah.
So, like, you don't wanna do any apple fritters with this. This is a donut machine. So don't add,
Actually, what we do for apple fritters is Dawn makes an excellent apple fritter, it comes frozen. And we got those, and that's what we use that
You just take
convection oven for. And we just heated them, and they
and
are,
let me tell you, 72 in a case, and those were the fourth biggest seller.
Really?
We could not keep apple fritters.
Yeah.
All we did was cook them, take them out of the freezer, put them in that convection oven, cook them, bring them over here, glaze them, put them out.
Yep.
We could not keep them made. I mean, they are excellent,
yeah.
excellent.
You
And
can
I've
make,
tried,
you can make your own, but it's a heck of a process.
and you're gonna have a mess. Do not cook that in here. Do not add any fruit. Do not add anything to your donuts in here,
So
in your mix.
if you were doing, say if you're doing a donut, a cake donut from, that was say like pumpkin spice or something,
Mhm.
do you do you make it from scratch,
No.
or you use that?
I bought their pumpkin
I
spice
had a
mix.
pumpkin spice mix that was excellent.
Yeah, it's only available seasonal, you can only get it, yeah, but no, I did not add anything like that. These machines are made to use the mixes, they're not made to cook donuts with other things added into it.
Okay.
You know, you gotta keep this thing light and keep it to where it's gonna flip. If you heavy it up with fruit or nuts and stuff, it's not gonna flip, and it's all gonna be in there, and once you get this stuff clogged in these gears, you're in a mess.
Yeah, no, it will do, the bars, and it will do your, biscuit donuts, you know, for jelly filled and whatnot, that's not a problem either.
Well, yeah, that depends, that's still the same mix though.
I know, I'm just,
But you're not adding anything to the mix, is what I'm saying. What you're talking about is making them from scratch, we're trying to add stuff to it.
That's why I was just curious if you don't add spices or anything.
No, everything is in their mix, everything.
I mean,
Dawn's-
you can if you want,
Yeah,
That
no,
shouldn't make a difference.
we didn't.
No. Their mixes are excellent, I mean, and they're all flavored, different flavors, I mean, I just bought their mix. All you're doing is adding the warm water and the yeast.
Okay.
For the cake donuts, you're just adding water.
Yep.
And you're mixing it in a kitchen mixer and letting it sit for 10 minutes, putting it in the hopper, get it going.
So you used their, yeast donut mix too, you just
Yeah.
added
Yes.
yeast?
Mhm.
Okay. So,
Yeah. Yeah, no, I used theirs, it was, and people,
Oh, yeah.
you could tell the difference. Woo! I got a bag of mix from somebody else one time. Oh, when you can taste grease in a donut, you have a cheap mix.
yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, on y'all's hood, did y'all have to add the fire suppression, or that does not have
No,
fire
we
suppression?
had to get with this company that does it,
Mhm.
again, the company's out of Atlanta,
Mhm.
and it's called Helter.
Hiller. Yeah.
Hiller Fire Systems, they probably have a local.
The health
number
department will
in
tell
your
them.
area,
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
I've
they're
got
gonna
it.
tell you it's required by law.
yeah.
Yeah, I've got a fire suppression system in the back, but I was,
Yeah.
the ones that, the hood that I'm planning on using is, a little bit, it's 48, 452 wide, but
Uh-huh.
it's a little bit narrower, and I'm
Yeah.
probably gonna get fire
Yeah,
suppression.
you can work
I was
with a
just
narrower
curious.
one, this is just, now
Yeah.
this is all they make.
Well, and the thing
This
about,
ventilation direct company, they're out of Florida, so.
and you will have, the fryer will have to sit where your ventilation system is.
Yeah.
You can't have it near it, you can't have the catty cord from it.
It's
By
gonna be.
law, it's gonna be,
Yeah, it's
you know, they are very, very particular. And that fire suppression thing, I mean, you just gotta have it. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
yeah, we have
crazy.
it in our other one, so.
Their requirements are pretty stiff.
Yeah, and my hood is only about, it's 36 inches deep.
You'll be
wide, so
fine.
it should be
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah, you're good, as long as it's, cause they were
You're,
thinking,
you're gonna find, this does not
This-
emit a lot of smoke.
this is all you need to cover.
Yeah,
This is it. So you're
Yeah.
good if you've got that. Another good thing about this, it's not an open fryer where all that stuff is going up in the air. I mean,
I mean, the
that's what-
hottest you're gonna run it is what, 375?
Yes, that's the
And so
hottest.
that's what, I didn't
Yeah.
even look at this stuff, you put it on,
Yeah.
I didn't even look. So you usually run it about set.
Well, you're gonna, it's
Oh,
gonna
that's
go by,
fine. Okay,
well, you're gonna set it by what your mix says.
okay.
We get the Dawn mix and it's 375.
That's for yeast,
Um,
yeah, cake is a little
No,
less,
it's,
or
or
vice versa, I can't remember.
you're gonna set your timer, your degrees. You're gonna say 375. Here, you're gonna do 95 for yeast donuts, between 150 and 180 for my fields and my eclairs and stuff, because, I mean, they say 180, but, it's too much for me. That varies with you. So you're gonna get a certain amount of time they'll give you, but you need to fix it your way. In other words, Belshaw's gonna say, okay, 180 for fills and eclairs, but I backed it off because it was better. Because everything affects it. Humidity in the air, the temperature in the air, everything affects it. So you're gonna be given a certain amount, but you need to practice and then back off a little bit if you see it's too dark or too thick,
Yeah.
too, crusty or whatever.
Alright, so on here, you set, this is your time, And it
This is your
flips halfway
temperature.
through.
Yeah,
It flips about halfway through, is that right? Or sort of, that's about halfway through the journey.
Yes.
Yeah,
And then the first thing you do is cut on your heat.
right.
okay, the first thing you do is.
The main
flip-
switch is in the back.
Main switch,
You
okay.
flip the switch.
Alright, and then you get your grease
Then
on.
you turn that on
Okay.
immediately.
And set your temperature.
Then you turn this on without the grease, because you ain't gonna get no grease until you just turn this on.
Okay.
Well, what we always
That's
did
what
is
this
at the end of the day was always fill it up, so you're ready in the morning, so,
Just to cut
so
it
that's not a real biggie at that point.
Yeah, but you may, in case you had to add some during the day, you
You
wanna
wanna
make
make
sure
sure
it's
that-
melted, it's heated, so turn it on, that should be
Yeah,
part of
'cause
your
it won't
process
pump
in
it
the
up
morning.
if it's not heated.
And where's your grease line here?
Okay, you need to have the grease at the top of this right here.
Yeah.
Right above
No,
where
yeah,
you're going.
It doesn't, you don't want the grease where it's going over the rollers, but
No,
up to the rollers.
and you don't want it under here,
No,
so it needs to go right here.
Right above it,
Mhm.
yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
Alright, and this sets your temperature and what else? This little.
That's all it does.
That's all that.
That's all your, no, that's it.
Okay,
Yeah, the knob sets your timing.
okay.
And you have to flip, and you'll read about all this stuff.
Yeah.
If you're gonna do cake, you have to flip it down to cake. If you're doing yeast, it has to stay up the feed table, because the feed table's not gonna work if you're doing cake.
Yeah, she called me one time, something's wrong, the feed table's not working, da, 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 da. So I come running in here and I look at everything and I go, oh, click.
When Richard cleaned it, he flipped the thing and I didn't look. I was like, what's happened? The machine's broke. And when he's cleaning, he flipped it. So, yeah, but.
You gotta check
okay.
your switches.
This is all, yeah, I mean, and when you plug it in, you'll see this and you'll read all about it. All you need to worry about is the up and down arrows.
Okay.
Cause you're gonna go up to 375 for your donut, for your, and then you're gonna go down to,
Yeah.
350
It is
for-
220.
Okay, that's fine. Here, pick that up. What I'm doing, I can send him a picture of that.
Yeah.
Do you know, this is 220 and where's the little sign that says the amps on
It's on the menu.
Okay,
the manuals are down here.
okay.
Yeah, it's got all your power requirements and everything.
Alright, that's your hose.
Yeah. Let me
And
see
this is
if
the
I
filter
think I
hose.
kept it in there.
Filter hose.
Yeah, this is,
How does that work?
you hook this up and then you bring it up here and you wash out everything while pumping grease. We actually got to where we didn't use this much.
Okay.
But you know, again, watch the videos to show you how to do everything. And the key thing is, whenever you change these hoses, make sure you can reconnect this or you will shoot. We did it a couple times.
That would be fine.
Yeah, it was-
That is,
that's your cover.
okay,
So
alright,
that's everything involved with the easy knob.
okay.
And, I know they say you can have this without that. That is the only way to go.
Yeah, I read some stuff about it, and there were people saying, yeah, you wanna do that.
Yeah.
So,
Without a doubt.
that's- Okay. And when you are putting, or like, say you're doing this and you've got, you put these proofing pans, do they fit in that?
They
Yeah,
do,
sure.
well, see, this poofer was actually designed for the full size. So what we did is, yeah, but what we do is, you got these, you put those like that, and then you can take these.
Okay.
And you can put
Do you know how many?
two per.
Okay.
So, and you have 5 slots, so you can get 10
And about how many fit on one of those?
on, it's I think it's a full dozen. And then you just like that. The controls for it are down here in the bottom on the sides. Like I said, we got humidities on this side, temperatures on this side. Humidity turned off, and then on this side you just you adjust your temperature for the heat.
Okay.
and whatnot. And
Is
then
it
of course
just a
you're on, now because, we don't use water, this light that says add water will always be on. But if you got it on off, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Yeah. So, that's how that dog hunts. And then, let's see, this is the icing table. And you can use this to heat or you can put ice in there. So you can actually use it for, an online service for later in the day. So you can actually use it in the morning for help. You put your icings in here to keep them warm. You just fill it up with water. And then you plug it in. We did put a new rheostat in it.
Okay.
And,
Does it have, yeah, it's got a drain.
yeah, and it's got a drain right here. That's how you drain it out and whatnot. Now this and that was the only two things we bought used. Everything else was brand spanking new.
Okay.
And whatnot. But,
And I have this notebook, this is just some general information. Different preparation things and a bunch of Dawn stuff and Bellshot stuff in here.
that'll help you.
You can take it, I mean, some of it, may apply for you and some of it may not, but you can have that.
Awesome.
But we did designer donuts. We did all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did a lot of those, and then I did birthday cakes.
What percent yeast and what percent cake donuts did y'all do?
95% yeast, 5% cake.
How long do they rise in the proofer?
30 minutes. 45 minutes for 40 to 45 minutes to ferment. Then you cut them out. Then you tray them. Then you put the trays in the proofer. They rise, they proof for 30 minutes before you cook them.
Yeah.
So altogether, the process is just under 2 hours.
Yeah.
For one run.
So you'd rather done all cake, it'd been so much easier.
I wish that
Yeah, but
And,
they
and what's amazing is we'll have people that come here from the
Wedding
north
reception.
and they sell more cake
Yeah, we
than you
did
do
rattlesnake,
yeast.
the rattlesnake.
But down here,
Down
everybody's
here,
like
it's,
Krispy
well,
Kreme.
that's what everybody thinks. They
Yeah.
think donut, they think Krispy Kreme,
Yeah.
and Krispy Kreme
That's
and
so
yeast.
simple.
Yeah.
You just do it with a toothpick.
Yeah. But if you get a certain clientele that, and if you're going, if you get a lot of travelers coming off of I-75, you may get a lot of people wanting cake donuts.
Yeah, because our
The northern,
out-of-state and international customers, because we've had people from 5 nations in here, different nations. We have a lot of out-of-state. They prefer, they're asking about where all the cake is, but I'm not going to make it for people that it's not selling. We tried that and lost our brewery.
Would y'all have cake donuts available every day of the week?
No.
we did. We had old fashioned, and we had the blueberries just about every day. But we made a very small run of each.
Yeah, and now
But that was
I
just
only
this
did it
era.
Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Yeah.
Because they just, we were closed on Mondays, but Tuesday and Wednesday just, no.
Yeah.
Thursday, Friday, and Saturday we had cake donuts, but we only had old fashions, blueberry, and chocolate.
But everything's going to be relative to your location.
Yeah.
I mean, you see how dead it is out there.
Yeah.
That's what we were dealing with. We had the right idea, the right product,
In the wrong place.
but in the wrong place. It's all about
I'm in the
location.
wrong place right now, yeah.
Yeah.
So, that's where I'm moving. I'm in an unsafe place right now.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
I understand.
so,
No donut over a day old.
Yeah,
Oh, no.
we sold fresh every day. Now, what we did do, if we had a day where we made a lot of donuts but didn't sell, we would bag them up and we would advertise them as day old donuts
The next day.
the next day. And those were only yeast. The cake you can't do
No,
a day
no.
old.
And dry up.
Yeah.
But now, most of the time, what we did is we found a place in town there where we could donate, so you could get a tax break off of that.
Yeah, we have a
Because you're not gonna
halfway
get a
house,
tax break if you throw them
and
away.
we would donate the leftover donuts to the halfway house.
Or the police department or the fire department.
Different things like that. So.
You can donate
they're gonna
there.
miss y'all.
Yeah.
I'm sure they all need it.
Yeah. But at least you keep up with that so you can get your tax.
Yeah. Oh, we didn't talk about these. Remember we talked about your flour comes in 50-pound bags. Well, once you open that bag of flour, you gotta be able to put it somewhere. And that's what these are, ingredient bins.
Okay.
And that's
Oh,
what
let me tell you, what's so great about these is because you don't want them in the way. You're over here at your mixer. You're taking out exactly what you need for your run and then you're getting it out of the way.
Yeah.
It was so good to have those and things on wheels. I mean, it was,
They're not cheap, but they're worth their weight in gold.
oh my God.
Plus, an inspector who comes, these things meet all the requirements, cause it's a lid over the edge and all.
Yeah, the health inspector,
It's
when
off
he
the,
came,
it's off the floor.
he said, I am so used to having people marking people off because they have these bags stacked on either dunnage racks, but they're open and they're still stacked on dunnage racks. He said, I wish to the good Lord I could convince them to use a bin. And we got 99 every time, and I said, well, why don't we get 100? He said, I don't give hundreds.
A 99 from him was
Was 100, yeah. But he was ecstatic. He
Yeah.
said, my number one thing you've done in here, besides the fact that it was cleaner than any place he'd ever been, he said, is having those
Yeah,
ingredients.
this is the cleanest
Yeah.
kitchen in several counties.
Yeah, I mean,
I can
he
tell.
covers
It looks
3
good.
counties.
Yeah.
He covers 3 counties, and he said,
Yeah.
this is the cleanest kitchen in 3 counties.
Now, are you gonna do jelly filled? Donuts?
Yeah.
Fruit
I
filled.
don't know.
Okay, there's